guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back and support my channel. I appreciate all of you so very much. You know I do. Today I figured I would do the 21 questions tag that Allie Glines started I think about a month ago. I really am trying to stay on top of these tags. I really love tags. I have a good time with tags. But doing that tag, I also thought I would put my shop my stash to the test and play with some palettes that are in my shop my stash that I haven't played with yet. And if you all are familiar, I do roll out that shop my stash stuff and pick new stuff here soon. So I do need to get some usage out of these wonderful palettes that I put into my shop my stash because I was so excited about. This one I did get for Christmas from my man, the love of my life. This is the Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette, and then this one I purchased for myself during Sephora's I don't know, sale of some sort. This is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. This one has been on my list for ever. So I kind of want to go a little bit green and grungy and lovely. And I figure these two palettes could probably partner fairly well. Maybe we might see one being used more than the other. I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just play with the Trio Chrome. I have no idea what we're doing today. But with that said, I am playing with my shop my stash items. I will not be talking about the makeup or how I'm applying anything. I'm just going to be doing the 21 questions tag that Miss Allie Glines started here on YouTube. There is a ton of creators that have reached out and done it, and I can't wait to jump on that bandwagon, to be honest. I love tags so much. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please just keep watching because you're in for a treat. So the first question is, what is the oldest makeup product in your collection? And you know, I was thinking about this, and my makeup collection isn't super old, and those makeup items that I did have in my collection from way back when, I don't have anymore. But there's one item that I do still have, and I'm pretty sure that the powder in it has not changed hands since I originally put it in there 10 years ago. Yes, folks, you heard that right. 10 years I've had this powder in my collection. I just don't use powder, so I know that the powder in this contraption is old. With that said, I showed it to my Bare Minerals lady, and she was like, oh my god, I don't even know what that is. So this is the oldest thing in my collection, and this is a retractable brush by Bare Minerals, whereas you twist it, push it up, and the brush pops out. But with that said, it does have a refillable container down here that you pull off and you fill with whatever powder you want to fill it with. And this powder in this guy has been in this for 10 years because that's when I got this, and I know I haven't refilled that powder, and that is the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil in there. Very first Mineral Veil powder I ever purchased from them. So that would be the oldest makeup product in my collection. How gross is that? Are y'all grossed out now? I'm a little grossed out. What is the most recent makeup purchase? You all know I just purchased some stuff from Kaleidos and Midas. So Midas would be the most recent. I purchased their Valentine's Day box. I will link that up in the cards for you guys so that you guys can go see it. They are on my brands to try this year, so I think that's really why I purchased from them, to be honest. What is the first makeup product you ever used? So the first makeup product I ever used, when I really think about it, is an eyeliner. Up until a few years ago, I didn't use anything, but as a matter of fact, I have one here. Revlon Color Stay eyeliner in black. That was the only thing that I ever used for many years. I never ever used anything other than eyeliner. I had heard so many great things about the Color Stay line from Revlon that I just went and purchased one. That's all I ever owned. Nothing spectacular about that, I feel like. The question is, what makeup trend do you love but now you hate? So I wouldn't say that I ever have a love-hate relationship with makeup trends, but I think back to Allie's video and I feel the same way. Like, I remember, like, those dark lips being, like, my jam. Like, I loved a grayish lipstick or a dark purple lipstick or a vampy lipstick. Not that I hate it now. I would just say that that was my everyday for a long time. And it's just not my everyday anymore. I couldn't even imagine me putting on a dark vampy lip on a daily. And I think really when it comes down to it, I found that it just doesn't look great with my skin tone. And honestly, I just don't think that it makes my teeth look amazing either. So that's the ish that I am feeling about those dark vampy lips. While I used to love it on myself, I absolutely don't love it on myself anymore. But I would never write it off as something I'm never doing again. What is your favorite step in your makeup routine? Obviously, eyes. Love just the thought process of it all and like how you bring everything together. I love the color. It's where you can get away with the most kind of out of this world like color story. It's also a major part of my collection. Honestly, I have so many eyeshadow palettes because that's where I love to focus my attention. I think that in today's world with the masks and the whatnots, it's everybody's spot that they're really focusing in on because you can still show your personality through your eye makeup, whereas you can't really do that through your lipsticks anymore. You can't really do that through, you know, much of anything else. Question number 7, what is the makeup product you can't live without? When I think about this from when I first started makeup, I guess, I would have said eyeliner, but I just don't feel like that's the case anymore. When I think about going out in public now and the steps that are must-haves for me to feel normal going out in public, I would say brows. So, like, with that said, the one thing that I know I need to have in my collection always is the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. I put that on my brows every single day, and that's pretty much it. As long as my brows are shaped and tweezed and look decent, I do go see an arch expert to have that done at Ulta. I would say that's the only product that I truly need. I don't even wear mascara on a daily. Honestly, sometimes I do a makeup look and forget to put mascara on until it's the end of the day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot mascara today. Question 8, what sparked your love for makeup? I don't know. I can't say that there was any one thing, honestly. I kind of didn't really get into makeup until it was 4 years ago, almost exactly, right now. Before that, I only wore, like, eyeliner. Didn't really have a love for makeup at all, and didn't really think twice about makeup. But I got a palette for my daughter for Christmas, and getting her the palette that I got her, I also saw one that was super colorful and really pretty, and I wanted it. And I think I've told this story before on my channel, so if you've heard it before, I do apologize. It was the Urban Decay Electric palette, if you guys remember that, and I loved it. I thought it was so pretty, so I purchased it. I don't wear makeup, but I purchased this palette because I just thought it was pretty. And when the love of my life found out that I had purchased this palette because I thought it was pretty, he kind of made fun of me. He was like, ye of always purchasing things because they are pretty but then never using them. And just to put it into perspective for you guys, I do have, like, this room that I sit in is also my craft room, and I have a ton of crafty stuff that I never use because it's too pretty to use. So, I mean, he hit the nail on the head, I'm not gonna lie. But because he said that, I was like, oh, I'll show you. I'll use this palette. And if you guys know anything about the electric palette, you know that it was crazy colorful. I wore that palette every single day for 30 days. And he was like, okay, I get it. But in that 30 days, I really fell in love with the whole like application process and the whole just serenity I felt while putting on this eyeshadow. Well, like just being creative. And I have painted in the past and felt that same way, but I don't think I ever once thought that that would translate also to putting makeup on my face, right? I never really thought that that would ever translate into anything other than, you know, paintbrush to canvas. But man, it did so much. And I think that that's just really where the love for it all stemmed from, is because I got a burr up my butt and thought I'd prove somebody wrong. And then that created this like obsession that I have with the peace that it created within me. Does that make any sense? What is the worst makeup look that you've ever done? You know, there's a lot because I was not very good at this when I first started posting videos, was not very good at this when I first started posting pictures to Instagram. There's a lot. Like, I could probably give you a good easy 50 eyeshadow looks that would be not a fave for me. But there's one that I was looking at. I was going back through my Instagram that I posted way back when. It wasn't even that long ago, like 3.5 years ago. And I posted a picture and I was so proud of this halo eye that I did with a pure palette that I got in BoxyCharm. And looking at it the other day, I was like,
I really posted that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I guess if I think about it through the lens of looking back at what I have done and whether I love it currently or no, like, I was super proud of that eye look, to be honest. But looking back at it, I'm like, nope. As a matter of fact, I redid it, and that picture will be going up on, not with the same palette, with a different palette, but same color story, I think. That picture will be going up on Instagram one day, very soon, speaking about, like, makeup growth, like self-taught growth, because I'm embarrassed that that picture is even out there, if I'm honest. What is the favorite makeup look you've ever done? So, not that long ago, again, as a matter of fact, I think it was just over the holiday season, I did a collab. It was the winter eye look collab. I did like blue and silver because that's what my house is blue and silver. And I gave myself glitter brows. Oh my gosh. I remember when I first put those on, I was like, oh, I look like an idiot with these glitter brows. But the more and more I looked at that picture, I was like, in love. While I don't like love the brows specifically because I think I look weird with those brows, the whole everything of that eye look and how it came together, and I felt like a real MUA when I was doing it, that would be my favorite eye look. So tell me what you guys think. Alright, the next question is, what is your favorite drugstore makeup product? You all know that I don't really do drugstore, but I do have like affordable. I guess I would have a favorite drugstore product. The L'Oreal Fresh Wear. I think it's Infallible Fresh Wear, 24-hour Infallible Fresh Wear or something like that anyways. I really like that foundation. That foundation is really good. My friend JC introduced me to it, so I thank her so much for introducing me to it. I could see myself wearing that foundation every day. I really loved how it complemented my skin so well without looking like cakey, but was still able to get a really great amount of coverage from it. It was a really good drugstore item. The next question, which is question number 12, what is your favorite splurge makeup product? When I think about what I splurge on the most, it would be Natasha Denona. I love Natasha Denona, and I couldn't imagine not having her in my collection. I used to call her Natasha Denono, and I know that there's a lot of people on the platform that do, because she's too damn expensive. She is. She's really expensive. That's immediately where I go to. What can I buy from Natasha Denona that I don't yet have? I do have a ton of her products just because, like, she's my favorite eyeshadow formula. I mean, look how easily this went on, and this is Greens, you guys. Greens. We've been doing this for like 20 minutes. So she would be my favorite splurge product, but if I had like line, but if I had to pick like one product, I love just the feel of a luxurious primer. When I think splurge product, I also think like along the lines of skincare. The next question is, what is your most repurchased makeup product? So let's think back to a minute ago when I said brows was something I couldn't live without in my collection. My most repurchased eyebrow pencil is not this one, but this is the NYX Precision Brow. NYX is my most repurchased brow pencil, and I typically go for the micro one, the little tiny micro brow. Okay, we're on question 14. What is your earliest makeup memory? So my earliest makeup memory, honestly, like when we like dig in and really think about it, my earliest makeup memory would be when I was working for Cottonwood Financial as the regional. Our company worked a little bit differently than this company that I'm currently with does, and we had district managers, regional vice presidents, area managers, and then corporate. Because I know that I have some of my work friends that watch me. Area managers were above regional managers at my finance company that I worked for. They were like a territory manager, I guess. So with that said, my area manager and I were in Spokane seeing our stores, and I will never forget the first time I walked into an Ulta, and it was the Ulta that was in Spokane on Division, and that's currently a store in my territory, but they have moved down the road. But when I first started with the company, they were at that location still, which was really like deja vu-esque. It was so weird to walk into that store because that's really where my first makeup memory was. She sat me down because I didn't wear makeup. I think I've said this before. I didn't really wear makeup at all until about 4 years ago, but she thought I needed to wear makeup, and she took me into this Ulta location and got me a makeover by Bare Minerals. There was a Bare Minerals person there, or maybe it was a different like boutique lead that gave me a makeover using Bare Minerals products. And I remember being blown away by what my face looked like with all that makeup on it, because part of the reason why I didn't wear makeup before is because I didn't like the way it looked on the skin. I thought it looked cakey. I thought it looked gross. She had put all this makeup on my face and it looked beautiful. And if I'm remembering correctly, that is when I got this. So I remember walking out of that thinking that that was the coolest experience in the world. But I bought all this makeup and then never really touched it, if I'm honest. Next question, question number 15. What is your favorite place to shop for makeup? Duh. Ulta, of course. You all know I work there. Well, I work for Ulta. I don't work in a store. They have always been, even before I worked there, honestly, my favorite place to shop for makeup, because their point system, bar none, is the best out there. Like, as a consumer, if you're not taking advantage of Ulta's point system, that's just a silly thing. That's just a silly thing to not be taken advantage of. So for every dollar that you spend, you earn points. And then once you hit like 2,000 points, well, any amount of points really, but I only spend my points in 2,000 point increments because your points translate into dollars. So unlike, say, Sephora, where your points translate into literally miniature items for every $500 that you spend in store, for Ulta, your points translate into dollars. So like when I say I spend my points in 2,000 increments, it's because they also like start exponentially like increasing the more points that you have. So when I rack up 2,000 points, which isn't hard to do because I get my hair done there and I buy almost everything that I can there, because they sell also like not just beauty, right? It's also like hair care, and it's also like body care, and it's lotions, and it's candles and everything. So I buy everything that I can there. So it's not hard to get those points to rack up. Additionally, like I can typically get like accelerators. So like if you spend $50 today, you get 5 times points. If you spend, or 100 extra points, or whatever it is. I spend in 2,000 point increments because at 2,000 points, I can get $125 worth of product from Ulta for free. And that's, bar none, the best out there. So they are my favorite place to spend money when I'm thinking about spending money on beauty purchases. If you want more information on the rewards program, please reach out. I will definitely get you in. What is the most underrated makeup product you own? The most underrated makeup product I own, I think, would be Bare Minerals. You know, their Mineral Veil powder. This is the one I use, not the one in the thingy. Their Mineral Veil powder is probably the most beautiful loose powder. And I think like back to when I first started, you know, YouTube, and the Laura Mercier powder was the powder. It was the shiznit out there. It's just not an amazing powder, if I'm honest. That Bare Minerals Mineral Veil is probably the most finely milled, beautiful, lacks any kind of cakiness to your skin powder out there. It really is the most underrated. I feel like Bare Minerals as a brand is the most underrated, in my opinion. What is the most overrated makeup product you own? Probably this is going to make some people mad, but I do think that I've talked about this before, so I don't think it would come as a surprise to many people, but I do think that Pat McGrath is a little bit overrated. But I think more so than that, I just got this from my Beautylish Lucky Bag. This Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow powder that everybody was raving about at one point in time or another, and maybe it's my skin tone, I just don't know. I don't think it's fantastic. I don't think it's the most amazing powder out there as far as sculpting or anything. It's just not amazing. And when I think about it, like I think about the other tag that I did that also Allie Glines did, maybe it was a Mel Thompson tag. I spoke to the fact that I think that Charlotte Tilbury is overrated anyways. I do think that she's very overpriced for her products. I think that Pat McGrath is overrated. I think that Charlotte Tilbury is overrated and overpriced, if that makes any sense. I think that she should fall along the same lines as, you know, price point as, say, Becca, not, say, Tom Ford. Not that she does, but I think that there's just, honestly, there's not really anything spectacular about her products that aren't dupable. Even that Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish I can't even say it, Airbrush Flawless Finishing powder that I have fallen in love with in the past is so dupable. You can get it, from what I understand, in number 7. Number 7 makes a powder that is just like it. I haven't tried it yet because I can't find it in my small town crater of the world here. One day I will try it. I've heard that it's the same. I haven't repurchased the Charlotte Tilbury product because I've been on the hunt for one of those number 7 powders, because I want to try that first, because God knows I don't want to spend $50 on a powder if I don't need to spend $50 on a powder, right? I think that probably that Film Star Bronze and Glow is my most overrated product in my collection. Bar none. Question 18. What is a discontinued makeup product you wish would come back? You know, and I think that it's just a discontinued makeup product I wish would come back because I wish I had owned it. It came out before my time really here on the platform, and I didn't really know it existed except for that I was a YouTube watcher and then I coveted it, but it's the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette. Like, I think that that palette is gorgeous and would love to have it in my collection. Do I need it? No. Or maybe even, ooh, maybe even Mi Vida Loca. I think that was another one that I love too, that I would love to have in my collection. Not because I think that they're good quality, because I have no idea. I do have the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and I do love that palette. So if they're anything like those, I would love that. I bet that there would be more that I could think of if I really sat down and thought, you know, this through. But I have to tell you, I sat down to film this and didn't really think about these answers. 19. Where do you go for makeup inspiration? Honestly, I don't know that I have a go-to makeup inspiration spot. I do look at Pinterest a lot. Like, if I'm working with a palette that isn't inspiring me, probably biggest place that I go. I also check out, of course, Instagram. What do you hope to see less of in makeup's future? I guess I hope to see less of, I don't know. I hope to see less of fast fashion makeup. And I know that's ColourPop's gig, but I really just don't think it's doing the makeup world any favors, honestly. I mean, when we think about it through the lens of, you know, Becca shutting down, I really feel like that's a big reason why is, you know, the Morphes and the ColourPops of the world are gearing ahead because they're fast fashion makeup. What do you hope to see more of in makeup's future? And I really hope to see more of indie brands making it into mainstream markets. So, like, I really do hope to see Ulta bring in more indie brands that needs showcasing. Last year they brought in so many, like, you know, over the last couple years since I've been with them, like Zoeva, I can think of Uma Beauty, I can think of just a lot of indie brands that they've really brought into their four walls. And I would love to see more of that happen with indie brands, with more indie brands. I think of Midas, I think of, you know, Cleona, I think of Kaleidos, I think of all kinds of like other indie brands that I would love to see make it into mainstream. But then you have ColourPop, who can go from thought process of a palette to production to selling a palette in like 7 days. So is that really helping a brother out when it comes to immersing the world with more options? No, because ColourPop is inexpensive and they can go from thought process to selling in 7 days. And while I guess there's nothing wrong with that, and don't get me wrong, I do love me some ColourPop, I just wish there was less. I wish there was less of that thought process and more of getting them in the door. Alright guys, this is my final look. I hope that you enjoyed my 21 questions tag that Allie Glines did and created. I will go ahead and link all the questions down there, all the prompts, and I will also link some videos that other creators did doing this tag as well. Really trying to stay on top of this. I also utilized my Shop My Stash items, which, you know, I have to be honest, some of them got an enormous amount of use over the last 2 months, but these two guys definitely didn't. So I'm super excited to get these two guys, you know, at least some usage. I think that this eye look is really cool. I really dig that trio chrome on my lid. Just getting up and close and personal for you guys so that you guys can see it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that if you did, you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. I hope that if you have a YouTube channel out here that you're going to be doing this tag, I would love to come and support your channel and see you in action, or just your answers, because I'm nosy. I would love that. And with that said, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video enough that you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. Really does help our channels out here. I also hope that you liked it or me enough that you're considering subscribing before you go. I would love to have you along for my crazy midlife crisis here. I hope that if you do subscribe to the channel that you're hitting that notification bell. I do upload content multiple times a week and I would hate for you to miss anything, and that bell is going to assure that you do not miss a thing. Thank you guys again so much for coming today. I hope that 2021 is treating you well so far. Man, it's just flying by, isn't it? So I hope that you and yours are doing well. I hope that you all are staying safe and staying sane and wearing your masks when you're out in public, at least for a little tiny bit longer until we get ourselves on top of this craziness out there. I hope that you all are loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, guys. Bye.